Hello, friends. You're listening to Profoundish. I'm Weston. I'll have Alex joining us shortly, where we're going to talk about coffee and caffeine addictions, squirrels on caffeine addictions. We're going to talk about exotic animals we maybe would have liked as pets, maybe as kids, and then we're going to rank a bunch of common zoo animals to see what's best at a variety of skills. You're listening to Profoundish.
What I want to do eventually is get some variations on that theme. Like maybe I don't hold me to it because I have so many things I got to do in my music life, but I would love to do like a Christmas version of the Profoundish theme. Just add some, even if I just add sleigh bells to it or something.
Right.
It's such a fun theme.
I like the idea of it's just the same theme with slight variations, but there's like 10 of them, and we release an album of just the Profoundish theme song. just over and over in different variations.
But we market it as like a 10 brand new tracks, you know.
I don't. Sure, yeah, we'll do that. We'll tell
just
everyone
to hook people in.
All very brand new, all very different. Don't look into it. Don't question it. Don't judge it.
That'd be a classic. Like we get a bunch of listeners the first day, and then it just dips after that. Because they learned very quickly, never mind,
so
it's the same song.
This is just the same thing, but with sleigh bells. Now, this is the same thing, but you can, like, for the Halloween one or whatever, you can hear pipe organ or something.
And just for the hell of it, for one, I'll just pitch it up. I like just a couple notes, just to see if, see if anyone goes, oh, this one sounds different.
You pitch it up, and you speed it up a little bit, and that's the Nightcore version.
We're onto something.
I think I think it would be pretty. If it's not, you're the music guy, you would probably produce it, right? If it's not too much effort, it would be kind of funny.
It really would be.
And then we could slap it up onto Spotify or the music or whatever. I'll take care of the business end of it if that's more work.
Let's do it. Okay, I'm interested because honestly, for me, it's not much work.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, if it's not too much work, it would be kind of funny. Who would listen to it? Nobody, but it would be out there. I'll put the tracks on YouTube, and we'll get. We'll get some background, for the video, right? For the quote unquote music video, it'll be just like random, gameplay footage or something. I don't know. Something that we could use.
I love it. Well, I'm just thinking we can add 10 more bonus tracks, and like if they pre-download it or something, I don't know how that works. But like if we just add bonus tracks, and all it's the isolated instruments that I added. So it's just one track of just sleigh bells. And
if you combine, if you get like 10 devices to play all of them at the same time, the different solo tracks, you get the full theme.
Well, there you go. We have an 11th track. It's just all of the tracks put together, but slightly off, so it just sounds chaotic and terrible.
Can we also get can we get one of the versions to also have some sort of weird satanic cult message if you play it backwards?
Ooh, yeah, let's do that. I like that. See, this is getting me excited.
Meanwhile, everyone at home listening is thinking to themselves, "This is what is this?
Exactly.
What did we tune into? Are they having a meeting right now? What's happening?"
Our currently established fan base aren't even going to listen to it anyway. How do we expect anyone to?
That's a good point. But if you don't make it, you can't ever know.
But see, here's the thing, and I know you can probably understand this in your own way. I like listening to me. I like listening to what I make. Like you know what? I like me. So like I'd listen to it, and that's all that matters.
It would just be like all of the listens or plays or whatever is just us playing it on loop while we're working on things, just blasting our own music.
This was a weird way to start off the show, but I wonder if it's because very rarely do we record our sessions in the morning, but it's morning time for us right now.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you have your coffee and or if you're weird, tea.
Well, that was mean. What's wrong with tea?
It's just, I mean,
it's weird.
Inferior to coffee in the morning. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to start a fight is what I'm trying to do. First thing in the morning, I roll out of bed and I don't want to start a fight.
Right. When I roll out of bed, I don't want to make tea. I want to make coffee. I tried to like pull back on caffeine. This was about a year ago. I might have even talked about it on the show. I don't know, but I was still drinking tea with caffeine because you obviously can get it without. But like I was trying to kind of wean off it, and it's funny because it actually for me, I don't know if this would be the same for you because I know you love your coffee too, but it was fine for me. Like I didn't really notice much difference. In fact, there were some days where I had nothing and it was okay. But like it was more just I'm missing it. I want it.
Yeah.
I don't need it, but I want it. And then for like 3 months, I did that. 3 months, man. And then one day I was like, I kind of want to have a cup of coffee. And then here I am again, drinking coffee every day.
It's like because caffeine is a drug, right? So like once you quit. If you go back to it, you're gonna relapse.
I know it freaking happened, man. I think, I'm above this. No, I'm not. I'm no different than anybody else.
I'm very this is like terrible to say, but I mean, after saying caffeine is a drug, I'm very happy with my caffeine addiction. You know what I mean? I'm not trying. Yeah. I'm not trying to change it. I like my coffee in the morning or literally all day. I drink too much of it, probably. Sure. If I don't drink it, I have a headache because I need it to survive.
Wow. Okay.
But,
well, tell me this.
No, mine's pretty bad. I can go without it. It's not too bad. I can go without it for a bit, and some days are worse than others. I can go without it for a bit, for a few hours or whatever, and it's fine. Okay. And then I start to crave it, like you were saying. Like I start to crave it, like I just really freaking want a coffee right now. And then if I have a really big like coffee binging day where I drink a lot of coffee and then follow that up with no coffee, that's where the headaches come. If I'm more regular and actually moderate myself throughout the week, then I can go without coffee and there's no headache or whatever. But I do crave it again, where it's like, I really, really want a coffee.
Right. I was going to ask, so I know that you use like a traditional like coffee maker. Yeah. Do you go through do you make a whole pot? Can we get into this here?
Usually. Sometimes if I'm just like kind of in a rush and I want it to make it real quick because I'm like on the go, like I'll just pour in, I scoop in the coffee and pour in the water for enough for like my travel mug, roughly. But typically if I'm making coffee, I go ahead and just make a whole pot at once because then once I have my coffee, I'm going to want more later. And it just depends on how much later, whatever. I make a whole pot at a time.
Oh, that's true, because you go back to your pot of coffee,
I go back to my
8 hours
I'm
later.
not like you. Yeah, once my coffee goes cold or whatever, I still drink it. I pull it out.
Okay,
I'll heat it in the microwave or whatever, or drink it cold, whatever. I just need my coffee, man.
I'm not like you. You think the way you said that was so accusatory. Like I'm the weird one here. Like
yeah,
after
you're the
like
weird one.
Eight
that
hour
likes their
old
coffee fresh.
Oh my God, that's hilarious to me. Yeah, I haven't done that, but one thing I started doing is sometimes I'll start working on something. I've been working remotely a lot with my day job, and I have more access to coffee quicker because it's right there next to me. And so I'm going through it a little bit more. And but what I'll do is I'll get so deep in work that I'll have like a half big. I have like one of those like a tall mug. Like that's supposed to hold like just bigger than a normal mug. So I'll fill that thing up and then it's halfway down. And then I realized, I need to drink more of this. Then it's cold. I just got comfortable heating it up. For a while, I couldn't even do that. Like, I don't know if I want to reheat it. That sounds weird. But now it's like, why would I want to waste the coffee? I'm spending money on this. So I do that now. In fact, I did it today.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to waste a drop of coffee. And just heating it in the microwave. I know it's like something about it is mentally not the same. But if it's hot, It's coffee. Okay, there is a difference. The more times you keep heating coffee, it does start to lose its flavor. It starts to get more bitter or whatever. Like, you can burn coffee. So the more time, like if you leave it on like a heating plate for too long, you start to burn the coffee. If you keep heating it up, you can start to burn the coffee. So you can change the flavor profile, admittedly, but it's coffee. You don't want to waste it.
Well, speaking of that too, I recently switched. So I do have a Keurig, but for the longest time I was buying K-Cups, and this year I just kind of did a reset on all just kind of my finances and saw what I was spending, what can I get better at, what is fine, And one thing I was looking at was how expensive K-Cups are compared to like just buying grounds or like whatever. And for the longest time, because I have one of those, it's in the shape of a K-Cup, but you can like pour your own grounds in it, And I never used it because it was just inconvenient. But I started doing that, and like the savings is actually incredible. I've been tracking it. I buy. There's so much more you get for so much less. It's crazy. So I've just been doing that full on. And I will probably never, well, I don't want to say never, but I will rarely, if ever, buy K-Cups again unless I have company over and there's just going to be a lot of coffee. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
I see the K-Cup, like you're paying for the convenience, right? To just slap in a cup and just go, right? But like if you're willing to put forth the little extra ritual to kind of start to do stuff yourself, then, you can completely control exactly how much you want to spend on your coffee.
Yeah, it's night and day. Like, I don't know. I'd get like I can't remember what the price is. Forgive me, but it's like I like Dunkin's a lot, and I like 8 o'clock a lot. I like to kind of bounce around between those two, and both of those, like if you get like K-Cup versions, like for 10 K-Cups, what is it? It's like $12-14, maybe 15 for like a 10 piece, and you can get like a 12-ounce bag for like $6, and that'll last me so much longer. It's wild. It almost. I know it's convenient, but like, is it really that convenient? Good Lord. I don't know.
Say like the nearly $1 per cup is just not going to do it for me. I drink far too much coffee.
Right. Well, I think about that too. There's a lot of people who like have their Starbucks obsessions, which we don't have to get into how bad that coffee is. I think we both know that. But like the coffee itself, I'm sure someone will get mad at that, but it's true. If you've ever had their black coffee,
delicious dessert coffee, right? If you want dessert in a cup that's coffee flavored, yeah, absolutely. But I also like punch you in the mouth coffee, right? Like I just black coffee, so I don't need Starbucks for that.
Right. Well, that's the thing, and because this isn't a jab at Steph. I love you, Steph, if you're listening. She loves her Starbucks, and she doesn't like black coffee, right? She drinks her the fruity drinks, which is what most people get there, if I were to presume. But if I'm there, I'm gonna go, okay, I'll get a coffee, and usually I'll just do their whatever their medium roast, just classic blend is, and it is terrible, and no wonder they like add all this crap to it. I'm serious. The only thing that's like that I've tried there that is okay. By the way, it's because like punch you in the mouth is one thing, but there's also just bad coffee. Like it still needs to have, at least for me, some sort of just. It's like I like smooth, like not light roast necessarily, but just like I don't know. It almost tastes burnt to me. And I've burnt myself some coffee before. But they do have a, I don't know if this would be your style, because I know you like kind of like darker roasts, but like, they do have a blonde roast that's like okay. So if I have to drink it, I'll do that. But usually I'll just pour my own in a cup. Plus, it's so expensive. That's even more expensive. Yeah. So anyway, coffee.
Could you, if there were an animal that were like the most caffeinated animal you can imagine, what would it be?
A caffeinated animal?
Yeah.
So what's like a spastic animal?
That's what I'm trying to think. What's the spazziest animal you can think of?
You know what I'm thinking of? This is like, it's not real, but I'm thinking of like that really like caffeinated squirrel and Hoodwinked.
Yeah.
And then they slow his voice down. And the person you were looking for is, it's hilarious.
The hoodwinked
I think of that.
squirrel. He's a squirrel. He is a squirrel, right? He's not like, yeah, he's a squirrel. I was thinking, is he a squirrel or a chipmunk? But I think he's a squirrel. His name was Twitchy.
Twitchy, that's right, yeah.
Because the wolf, I can't think of his name right now, Ralph or whatever. He's like, you got to lay up the coffee. He's like, I don't drink coffee.
Right, and then they need then they get him to drink coffee because they need him to chase somebody, and catch him. And it's like he gives it to him, and he runs off faster than he ever has. And the wolf goes, "Good God, what have I done?
What have I done?" And for Twitchy, like the entire universe is moving in slow motion.
Yep. Listen, everybody, Weston already knows this. My favorite 3D animated movie of all time is Hoodwinked. I always have to preface this with this. I know if you look at it now, the animation has not aged very well, but the writing has. It is a great, great movie, and I recommend it if it's streaming somewhere.
Well,
completely underrated
you say
now.
The animation hasn't held up, but honestly, like, it has its own charm to it. It's not actually badly animated. It's stiffly animated compared to anything you'd get today. But actually, the movie still holds up, I think.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I only said that out of I felt like I needed to say it because I hear it all the time, online.
If you look at it, you're like, oh, something about this is off. Like it was maybe cheaply made, which it wasn't for the time that it came out, which was like 2005. But so if it were made today, it would be like, oh, well, this is cheaply made. But no, it's not, and it's not badly animated. It's just it's got its own thing going on. That's what I'm gonna say.
Well, I appreciate that just as a lover of that film. So if it's been a while, everybody, I'm sure you remember it when it came out. But if it's been a long time, you should rewatch it. It is funny from kids to adults. It's good. But Twitchy, that's probably the caffeinated animal I think of.
You know, I'm looking at, this is non sequitur, but like I'm looking at the just a picture of Twitchy now, and I forgot that he wears this like tiny white fedora. And I feel like I need to cosplay as Twitchy on my YouTube since I do. Oh my god! Thing.
Please, please
he's got
do
like
that.
A sweater. I need to get that sweater.
Hey, let me look it up here. You and I should do a co-stream sometime when we're in the same room together, and I'll just be the wolf because he usually has a camera. He's like an investigator.
Yeah,
and then I can be the wolf with like the notepad, like taking notes down. That'd be so freaking funny.
Because I have my coffee
specific
obsession. Oh, that would be just so good.
Honestly, that's not... Yeah, that really isn't, like, too far off.
It's so funny.
Oh, my gosh. We'll get on that.
10 points to Alex for bringing up Hoodwinked. This is a point show now.
Everything's made up and the points don't matter.
No, that was a good one. All I could think of... I was struggling to think of caffeinated animals, and all I could think of was, like, Chihuahua. And I was trying to avoid thinking of dogs, because, like, dogs, cats, common animals. What
creature was it? The thing in Ice Age. What was that? Was that like really like spazzy?
The Ice Age. I think he was a squirrel too. The Ice Age
what
squirrel.
What is it with squirrels?
Scrat. His name was Scrat.
Scrat. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember he was... That was kind of an era where there was like a lot of like... Maybe just those two. Saber-tooth squirrel. Because like, that came out I think close to the same time as Hoodwink. There's just a bunch of these... character squirrel little stinker creatures that are just running around wreaking havoc.
Yeah, Ice Age came out in 2002, so like...
Oh, wow, okay.
Was it really that early? I thought it was slightly older than that. That seems super early, but I guess it was, but...
Wow. Over 20 years old. That was a big deal when it came out.
They made a bunch of those movies. I think that like at least the 3, and I think they had I think Scrat had a spin-off movie, or I'm just fever dreaming that. I don't know. And then they had a TV show, I'm pretty sure. That was pretty big.
It was big. I don't remember much past the first one, but I do remember like when the first one came out, it was huge, and like everyone like loved... Well, I guess everyone loved Scrat, but like I loved the Sloth. He was funny. But that's all I really remember now. I don't remember much else. I know that the mammoth is like Ray Romano. I know that.
I definitely didn't know that as a kid, but it's funny to imagine that now. Like, just imagine an Everybody Loves Raymond, but with Ice Age characters.
Well,
which is kind of what happened. Kind of.
Well, it is funny because like you can tell that's very specific to its time. Like Ray Romano is not a voice actor, but he was like the forefront of television during that time. Like Everybody Loves Raymond was huge in the like early 2000s. So like of course, they're going to get someone like him to be in this animated movie to get people to go in and watch it. I don't remember it being bad. I'm sure it was great. Like I don't know. I loved that movie growing up. We should rewatch that.
Yeah, you and me.
Yeah, you and me. And then we could talk about it.
We got to watch all the movies with the crazy squirrels. We got to watch Ice Age, Hoodwinked,
Over the Hedge,
The Nut Job.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I don't know that
movie about the squirrel that like holds like a heist. I didn't ever see it, but he heists something. The Nut Job.
Wow.
He robs a jewelry store or something. I don't remember. Something like that.
Okay. Well, we should, and then we could like rank them or something.
Top 10 squirrel movies with squirrels in them, specifically animated.
Hey, Weston, is this the squirrel episode?
It's the squirrel. No, it's not the squirrel episode. I'm very badly segueing towards animals.
Okay. Well, that's all right. We're there.
We're there. We're talking about squirrels.
Yeah.
And what's the most exotic animal you've ever wanted to own? Have you ever wanted to own an animal that wasn't like a dog or cat? And you're like, man, I'd really love to have an elephant. Like that. No, like a hippopotamus. Like that girl in that Christmas song, right? All I want for Christmas, whatever it is.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. The way you were starting that, you weren't going to fit hippopotamus in time.
I was
said,
not.
All I
I
want
screwed
for
it up.
Christmas is a hippopotamus.
I started doing All I Want for Christmas Is You is what I started to do. And I was like, that's not it. That's the wrong song.
Yeah, I recently you and I talked about animals and kind of how like we're not huge pet people in general, but just the idea of an exotic animal. Like, I haven't really thought about that much, but I mean an elephant would be pretty cool. Or like a I don't know, like a giraffe. Imagine just a big giraffe in your backyard. You can like hop up on there, climb up his neck, assuming he'd let you. And then you can just like see the whole neighborhood. You can like be a neighborhood like scout.
You do have to that caveat, like assuming he'd let you, because I guess they do have. I guess you can ride giraffes at some zoos, so I guess that is a thing.
But his neck or her neck, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I guess you just sit kind of on the back of a giraffe. Well, man, a giraffe's neck has got to be pretty freaking powerful. Like it's as long as its entire body is.
Right. Other than that, it reminds me. This isn't me specifically, but it reminds me of a story in my home, like the town I kind of grew up in when I was very young. There was this huge story at the time. Right outside of town, there was a lady who was secretly, I don't know how, but she was secretly keeping like an alligator in her bathtub. And that wasn't, obviously that's a no-no, and she got in big trouble for that. But she was, I don't know how she got it, transported it back, I don't know, but for like months, I guess, or something, like she had like an alligator in her bathtub. That's just weird. I wouldn't want an alligator, I can tell you that.
I can't imagine that she kept the alligator only in the bathtub. Like, surely it got out sometimes.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Probably was too big anyway if it kept growing.
Yeah, my question becomes, like, how did she wrangle this thing? You know what I mean? Like, if it got out of the tub, how'd she get it back in? Did she just... I mean, I don't know how big this alligator is. I am also kind of in my head imagining just this freaking 10-foot-long monster in my head. So maybe it's not that big, but...
Right. What about you? Do you have any, like, particular, like, exotic animal you would, like, be curious to own?
And this is kind of exotic for pets for the first two, and then the third one's kind of exotic, right? In my mind, as a kid, because we did kind of, I forgot about, we did kind of talk, you and I, how we're not big animal people in terms of like having pets or whatever. But besides like dogs and cats or whatever, I always liked chickens. I love to eat chicken. So I thought but I also thought chickens themselves were just goofy. So chickens, and lots of people have chickens for pets, so that's not too exotic. The next thing, hedgehogs. I always thought were awesome.
Yeah.
I did a report on this has nothing to do with Sonic the Hedgehog at all. Didn't grow up with those games at all. But I did a report on hedgehogs when I was a kid. And I'm like, hedgehogs are so cool.
They're cute too.
Yeah, they're cute. But that's not too exotic. But the third one that I thought would be fun, and I don't know why. I think it's related to the Lion King. Meerkats.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I always thought, and there were some zoos or whatever, you'd go in and you'd have like the little viewfinder you look in and you could watch the meerkats and their like exhibit. Yeah. I loved looking at the meerkats.
Honestly, hold on. I'm trying to remember exactly what they look like. Hold on.
They're these like string bean furry, like they stand on two legs, just goofy. They're almost like little people. They're almost like little furry people.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that is kind of what I was picturing in my head, yeah. They always remind me of Ellen.
I
think that was them.
His name's Steve.
Steve. Classic. Yeah, I would just like the idea of like you get up in the morning, you're drinking your coffee, maybe you step out back on your patio or something, and they're just, hey, just picking up, looking at you.
Hey.
Like everything I'm picturing is just I have this like very small backyard, very small space. So in my head, I think it'd be really funny just to have a big ass animal. So like just having an elephant that literally just takes up my yard would be hilarious. Because like any neighbor could just see it. Meerkat's interesting. Trying to think what else. Once again, not alligator. I want to do any sort of creature like that. I would kind of want it to be cute because like meerkats, they have their cuteness to them, which I like.
I just love how they stand there and they'll just kind of like they'll just chill with their like hands in front of their like in front of their belly or whatever. Just kind of chill. Just kind of like.
It's the only thing I know them to do is just stand there.
they just stand there and just kind of like they're looking around or whatever, but they're just like,
and they're all doing like the same thing. There's always like 30 of them just standing there.
I just imagine because they like live in these massive families. I just imagine like a neighborhood of people. Like if humans were meerkats, how like imagine every morning if you just grabbed your coffee, walked outside, and stood on your porch, and you could just see everyone down your line of houses. Everyone's just standing outside looking at the street as you enjoyed your coffee, and then you go back inside. That's meerkats.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You did mention chickens. Chickens can be. Not all of them, but some of them. My experiences with chickens are kind of bad. I've been around a lot of mean ones. They can be kind of ornery sometimes. But you can just eat them if you want, I guess.
But then you can just eat them.
So, a close family friend of ours we used to go there, like growing up, like for a while, we weren't going to a church. We were going to their house for like this just kind of Sunday morning Bible study thing when I was just a little kid. And they'd have a section for the kids and for the adults, but then like there'd be a lot of like free time and playtime. So I'd go out in their backyard and they had this chicken coop, and they lived in town, but they had this chicken coop in their backyard, and they let me in there a couple times. And one time I felt really scared because like one was chasing me. Roosters are also mean, but I don't know what it is about those kinds of animals, but they don't want you to mess with their crap sometimes. But then some chickens, apparently, people say they're not all mean, but I've only seen mean ones.
Well, especially because like you didn't own the chickens, so they weren't familiar with you, so that probably didn't help. Because they are birds, and birds are like, I don't know, bird-brained. They're they're just weird.
Bird-brained, yeah.
But chickens are funny though, because they're also dumb. So like they're just fun to mess with. They can be mean, but at the end of the day, it's a chicken. It's not. Roosters are meaner because that's like the male chicken. It's like really like it's protective or whatever. But like, I don't know. Chickens are just so dumb. I just think they're so funny.
Dumb chickens.
Just dumb chicken. Here, eat some grass.
What an interesting topic you brought up today. Exotic animals just to keep as pets. What was that movie that came out? There was a movie that came out about. I think it was based off of a book. Forgive me, I'm not super familiar with a lot of these classic books, but I think it's a pretty popular book. Turned into a movie, like I said, maybe a decade, maybe 15 years ago, and it had a lot to do with elephants. But it wasn't like about elephants, but they played a big role. I know that doesn't help at all. There's like a girl, and she like rode these elephants. Hold on, girl. Well, good luck, Google. Let's see what you do. Writing elephant movie.
Movie girl elephant.
Not the Impossible
Elephant Girl?
Elephant. No, it wasn't Elephant Girl. Is that really what it's called? Elephant Girl?
There's a short movie, probably some indie thing called Elephant Girl, and I'm curious, but I'm sure that's not what you're thinking of.
Movies with elephants, because I bet you I can find it with that. Because there was one that I watched, and it's like it made me like kind of want elephants. I don't know if I ever find it, I'll tell you later. I mean, there's just a bunch of documentaries about elephants. What's that? Water for Elephants? It was like there's like kind of like circusy. What am I thinking of? I'm not gonna.
Water
find
for
it.
Elephants is a movie. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've not seen that one. That is a movie.
What's that one? The Prince and Me, The Elephant Adventure? No. These are too elephant-centric. They just played a role, but they weren't, like, the main thing. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. Which, to be fair, there are so many movies I just haven't seen. But I'm not thinking of a movie that, other than, like, Dumbo, but that's also very elephant-centric.
Wait, was it Not Born to Be Wild. It's okay. Whatever.
Born
Dumbo,
to be an elephant.
I don't know if I've ever seen Dumbo, or if I have... It's been a long time. Actually, maybe it is Water for Elephants. Sorry, I know I'm all over the place, Weston. It might be Water for Elephants. Robert Pattinson? Well, I don't know. Okay, I'm done looking.
Maybe. I've seen the animated Dumbo. They remade Dumbo a few years back, which I kind of forgot about. I never saw that. The animated one I rewatched, I don't know, this was probably 5+ years ago, 8 years ago. But, you know, I watched as a kid, remembered barely anything of it, and then rewatched it in some number of years ago as an adult, and I'm like, this is sadder and more of a drug trip than I remember it being.
Oh, I should rewatch that.
The sequence after Dumbo, like, drinks some alcohol, like, I think the crows give it to him or something, and it is just an acid trip. Like, that, I don't know what was in that booze, man, but he had a trip, and it takes so many minutes of the movie, and I'm like, wow, this is still going. Okay,
interesting. Yeah,
I don't remember this at all.
Well, I do remember this right here. It was Water for Elephants. Set in the 1930s, a former veterinary student takes a job in a traveling circus and falls in love with the ringmaster's wife. Yes, this is a good movie to my knowledge. This came out in 2011. And yeah, I knew the circus thing wasn't crazy. I remembered that. Anyway, it made me appreciate elephants. I don't know. I appreciate these things.
I'm curious. I will consider this a recommendation. Will I see it? I'm not sure, but I'll consider this a recommendation.
Yeah, Water for Elephants. This was back when I still watched movies regularly, and it was good. Anyway, there you go. There were a lot of movie talk today. Movies and exotic animals.
Yeah, and coffee, and what animals we should or shouldn't give coffee to. That could be a different episode. In fact, maybe we'll discuss coffee and animals later. Maybe we'll do some research.
If we ever get big enough,
not good for most animals.
If we ever get big enough to do a Good Mythical Morning thing, we could do a Willet coffee, and then we can just give a bunch of animals coffee and see what happens.
You know what? I that's funny, and I wish we could. I think caffeine is actually poison to most animals.
Exactly.
So I think it's not good. I might be
That'd
wrong.
be hilarious, though. All of our animals are, sorry, animal lovers. This is just a joke. But this, all the animals are just slowly dying. It's like, Willet coffee? No. Just going through every animal. They're just
dead.
Dead animals in the background.
It's just so sad. Which, I could be wrong. I don't know about animals. I think caffeine is also a natural insect repellent, because I think it's poison to insects.
I think I knew that. I wouldn't be surprised, though. There's a lot of things we consume that animals should not consume. So
yeah, spicy peppers and stuff.
Right.
Chocolate.
But who knows? If we get there, maybe we could still do it. Just one.
Humans are the ultimate omnivore of the mammalian family, right? Just anything we'll eat, right?
That's why we're on top.
Pigs actually are better, but
there is a lot of shared, not DNA. That's not the right word, but there is a lot of I know for a long time, there's our hearts are similar to pigs.
Yeah, there's a lot of similar qualities between people and pigs, actually, weirdly. Weirdly.
There's a joke somewhere in there. There is.
There is. Because they use pig flesh, too, as a stand-in for people flesh. And it's that's weird, isn't it?
Because, you would think that, another mammal, would have, more similarities. But it's true, a lot of organs are similar, too. It's bizarre. I don't know.
All right. Well, speaking of exotic animals that you might find in zoos. We're going to play a little game here after the break where we determine what is the best animal of the ones that I have selected. What is the best at a number of different tasks? And Alex?
Yeah?
I don't know what I was going to say. We'll see you after the break.
Okay, I'll see you in a minute.
I don't know what I was going to say. Profoundish is brought to you in part by HastilyMadeDecision.com. Get your poetry fix from my poetry blog featuring haiku, senryu, freeform stuff, and more. Again, that's HastilyMadeDecision.com for your poetry fix.
Profoundish is brought to you in part by Camp Nostalgic Saturday Morning, a show that takes a deep dive into pop culture's biggest questions. I co-host alongside Dave Rediger, and it's a lot of fun. Watch the show and see all the other content offerings at campnostalgic.org.
Is it big enough?
Oh, it's huge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad I have that sound clip.
That needs to be a short. You need to prioritize that. Is it big enough? Oh, it's huge. Listen to Profoundish.
That's a... Send that to me. I don't have your audio.
Yeah,
I have
trust
that
me, I
sound
will.
clip, but I don't.
Well, you will have it. It's huge. Just the confidence in how I said it, too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's huge.
That
Are you
was
kidding
so
me?
perfect. My streamer brain clicked in. I'm like, this is just too good.
All right.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the game portion of our show. If you're the first-time listener, that's what we do here at Profoundish. We talk about random stuff for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of the actual topic, and then a whole half hour of a game related to the topic that we barely talked about.
That's pretty much what it is, yeah.
That's basically what happens. At least that's what it feels like on my episodes, at the very least. Because, we get to go into talking about coffee, and now all I want to do is talk about coffee. But this is about animals today. Today we are doing a tournament bracket. Alex can see it, and it's I handmade it, so I hope you like.
It's
like
pretty.
You're looking at it. It's
like
pretty.
it.
You're probably a little confused about what's going on in the middle there because we have a strange number of animals for a tournament bracket. We have 12. So, but that's because the final thing will be between 3 creatures. So this will make sense here in a second. So we got 12 animals, and we're ranking them on which is the best. All right. Now, what does that mean? I'll explain it in a little bit. First, I want to name the animals. These are some classic zoo animals. I try to look up some just top. This was stupid because I picked 12. Top 10 traditional zoo animals. And I found a list and slapped them up here in a tournament bracket randomly. There's no seeds. There's no first seed, last seed. So who we're being matched up against is completely random. The animals we have are giraffe, chimpanzee, gorilla, zebra, hippo, elephant, lion, penguin, alligator, snake. For our purposes, I chose a great horned snake, not like a garter snake for you snake fans out there or whatever. Great horned rattlesnake, rhino, and giant panda bear. So I thought these were some classic ones. So obviously, some are missing. Probably there's no gazelle or whatever. But I only picked 12, and we're gonna rank them on what animal is the best. But for our first series of rankings, this is the way it's going to go. We're going to rank each animal based on 3 attributes, giving them a score 1 to 10, and pit them against each other. We've done this kind of before, but the attributes we're ranking them on are 3 different sets of attributes as we move along the tournament bracket. So to begin with, Alex, I need you to pick a number 1 through 3 for me.
1.
Beautiful. So for this first round on which animal is best, we'll be ranking these animals on their pageant skills.
Their pageant skills?
That's right. Their ability to win a pageant.
Okay. Interesting.
The 3 skills involved in pageantry, as I found in my research, are attitude, personality, and confidence.
Attitude, personality, and confidence.
That's right.
I like it.
So let's start with our first matchup between the giraffe and the chimpanzee. Alex, I'll have you start. I want you to rank the giraffe and the chimpanzee on their attitude, personality, and confidence levels between 1 and 10.
Oh boy. Okay. That's a big range too. So we're starting with the giraffe, you said?
We can shorten the range, actually, if that would be easier. We can do like 1 and 5.
It's your game, whatever you want.
Let's do 1 and 5.
1 and 5? Okay. So, giraffe, I feel like... So, let's define attitude here. Do you just mean like... What's your definition of attitude here? How about you just tell me that? Because, like, there's a couple meanings for me. One could just be, are we just going by, like, overall just how their attitude is? Just like, are they kind of more in your face, or they're more subtle? Kind of what's your definition of it?
I'm glad you asked. According to this website that I had used, go into a pageant check-in with your attitude turned on. That does not necessarily mean that you must be Miss Sassy Pants, but walk in with energy and a smile. A contestant's energy and smile can be contagious to everyone around her. However, this goes far beyond showing up with a good attitude. Every contestant will start the pageant ready and excited to compete, but it is the attitude that sticks with you throughout the week or weekend that is a telltale sign that a contestant is ready to take on the title after the pageant is over. So the attitude.
Okay. Here's the thing about giraffe. I feel like giraffe is pretty modest and just kind of there. I don't think giraffe's going to have a lot of attitude coming to the table. I don't think it's going to be terrible. But I think for me, I'm probably going to put giraffe at, like looking at other names on this list, there's going to be more attitude coming. I'm going to put giraffe at 2 for attitude. I think for personality, gosh, giraffe seems very middle of the road for me. And I like giraffes. I want one in my backyard. But I feel like people would really respond well to a giraffe's personality, though. Like, you kind of want to chill with a giraffe. Like, just hang out, have a few beers.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would really resonate with people on stage. So I'm going to put personality, I think, at... You know what? It's a subtle personality, but I'm going to put that at a 4. And then for confidence, I know confidence is important with pageantry, obviously. Can kind of play in together with attitude as well. But I'm going to put them probably at... See, when I think of, when I think of confidence, I can't help but think of Madagascar, and I think of the giraffe in that, and he's not very confident.
No.
So I can't help but associate. I'm going to put confidence at a 2. So I believe that's a 2 and a 4 and a 2 for me.
A 2, 4, and a 2 for you. I think giraffes. When I think attitude, right? When I think of a giraffe, I think to the zoos, like the ones that you can walk up to and you can feed, and they'll like lick like food right out of your hand or whatever. You can ride them. I think giraffes have a pretty like winning like attitude in general. I think they're a pretty positive animal. I think they've got like an energy to them. They're excited to see you. They're not bounding off the walls. I'm gonna go with myself. Maybe like I'm gonna go with 4. I think they're pretty I think they got a good attitude.
Okay.
Personality, I think they have a strong personality myself in terms of like all those things I said. With the attitude as well. So I'm gonna give them a 4 on personality too. They seem like they're kind of their own quirky kind of animal. And for confidence, it's funny that you mentioned that that character, because that is a mess of a character. But I think a giraffe's fairly confident. I'm going to do you a little bit better. I'm going to go with 3 on myself.
Okay. What's that add up to?
Together that's an 8 and an 11. So we got 19 to work with.
Okay.
Competing with the chimpanzee, however.
Oh boy. Chimpanzee. So I learned, I admittedly, I didn't learn this till recently, but I've recently learned that chimpanzees are like really horrible and really mean and aggressive. And I didn't realize that they were like, because they're kind of like romanticized in movies, especially in the 90s. Like there was like the what's it called? Something Checks In, like that hotel movie with the chimpanzee. There's a few movies back then. Also, Darwin from Wild Thornberrys. There's quite a few, but apparently they're really mean to people. And there's been stories, and not at zoos, but like in other lesser off countries, of them like mauling people.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Like chewing people's faces off. I've heard this.
So they're not very friendly, but they definitely have attitude. You can't say they don't. So I'm going to give that. This honestly might be a 5 across the board for me with chimpanzees. Attitude, though, because once again, if they're going to be sporting themselves, I think they're more concerned about wreaking havoc than they are about like presenting themselves in the right way. So I'm not going to give it a full-on 5 here. I'm going to give it a 4 for attitude. It's there, though. Personality, they are unapologetically who they are. So I'm going to give personality a 5.
Okay.
And honestly, confidence, I'm going to give it a 5 too. Just based on what I know about them. Just they own who they are and they just go for it.
I like it. I'm thinking a little bit the opposite direction in terms of the attitude now. Like, well, no, in terms of attitude, what you said, like how they're kind of known to just be awful and maul people. That's probably like that sounds to be like a bad attitude, right? So I feel like that's probably low. So I'm going to give them a 1. I'm going to be mean.
That's true. You know, I'm looking at attitude just more, is their attitude, and less about, I got to remember this is a pageant here. This is
a pageant. So if they're trying to win a pageant, if they're mauling people's faces off, I'm like, that sounds like a really bad attitude, right? Like they're not having it. I'm guessing their personality is bad as well because they're flinging poo. They're poo flingers. I think chimpanzees fling, some kind of monkey flings poo or whatever, right? I don't know. I'm going to go with a 2 on the personality. I get where you're coming from, where they're really high.
I see,
or whatever.
Yeah.
But confidence, I think you're right, through the roof, like 5 right there. Like they don't.
let me. I'm going to cut you off for a second. I'll be honest. I kind of want to actually match what you just did because you're right. I was looking at that kind of wrong. So I want to do. I keep forgetting it's a pageant here.
Yeah, pageant skills.
Yeah, give me a 2 and a 2 and a 5, just like you did. I agree with that.
You want to do 2, 2, 5?
Yeah.
All right. Because I did 1, 2, 5, but that totally.
Oh, 2, 2, 5. Yeah.
That totally works. That gives your score of a 9, my score of an 8, which gives it a 17. Really just keeping in there mostly entirely off of its confidence levels. As a result, the giraffe with 19 points to the chimpanzee's 17. The giraffe is going to move on in our bracket to the second round. The giraffe wins the pageant skills.
Oh my gosh. I wish like we could animate because we could like I want to see like a giraffe walking up the catwalk.
Yeah, giraffe on the catwalk. Our next matchup is between the gorilla and the zebra. So I'll start with you once again. Hit me with this: the attitude, personality, and confidence of a gorilla.
Gorilla. Oh man. You know, like gorillas have been known to perform for their guests, assuming they're in a zoo. They do. They perform. They can.
This is a funny way to put that. Gorillas have been known to perform.
So honestly, this is mainly, I've never really seen them perform much when I've been to zoos, but I see a lot of videos of them doing funny things, and you can tell that they're kind of egged on by people. I'm going to give them, for attitude, I'm mainly basing this off of my experience mixed with what I see online. I've never seen it, so I'm going to give them probably a 3 for attitude. I feel like they've, it's definitely like they know kind of how to present themselves. So I'm going to give it a 3. I'm sticking with that. Personality, when I see the performances, they really do quite a bit. And I think it's a lot of fun. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, examples. There's a ton. You can look them up online, them doing kind of funny stuff. Plus, once again, I can't help but think of personalities. You know what I go to and I think of gorillas? I think of Donkey Kong, and I think of the Donkey Kong rap. And they got personalities. I can't help but think of references. I'm going to give personality a 4. I just like gorillas a lot, although I don't want to be near one. And then confidence, I'd say the confidence is there. If they're walking down there, they're going to know that they're strong. They're walking around there, their butts out, they're liking it. I think I'm going to give. I think I'm going to give them a 4 on that front as well.
their butts out. They're liking it. I kind of agree, though, with... I haven't ever seen gorilla performances, really. When I think of gorilla, and I don't even remember now if it's gorilla or just some other great ape or something. But I think like Tarzan when I think like gorilla, right?
Okay.
And I think of like that family that Tarzan grew up with. I think of them when I think of gorillas for some reason.
Interesting. Okay.
Or even I think there's a gorilla in George of the Jungle, but it's been a long time since George of the Jungle.
Oh, geez,
in terms of attitude, I don't know. I don't know the gorilla attitude, right? Like I don't think it's good, bad, or otherwise. I think they seem pretty chill normally, but like obviously you don't want to fall into an enclosure or something with one and like
right.
I don't know. They're just so big. Like there's just so little you're going to be able to do if one decides it doesn't like you. But I'm going to give it a run of the mill with the attitude as well. I don't know. I don't remember if Arambe was a gorilla or that whole debacle, but
I think he was.
I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3 for the attitude, and for personality though, I think they're big goofs. I'm gonna give them a 4 as well. I'm kind of with you on that, and then I'm gonna give confidence a 5 because just look at him. Look at a gorilla. Like a gorilla knows what it's about,
and his butt's out.
And his butt's out, and he's liking it. So I'm very similar with you on that. I think we're on the same page.
All right.
11 from you, 12 from me. Going to give him a 23 on the pageant. Now the zebra.
I feel like this is a totally weird matchup here. Zebra. What's the first one? Is it attitude? Yeah,
attitude.
So I've rarely been around a zebra. And of course, I've never been around
one. The Madagascar zebra. You can base it off of.
So yeah, Chris Rock. Is it Chris Rock? Or is it
maybe? I don't know. Hang on. Zebra Madagascar.
Was that Chris Rock? I think it was Chris Rock.
Who plays him? Yeah, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
You got it.
Very distinct voice. I don't know. Like attitude. Like I don't know how much they're gonna really like. I don't think they're going to have a bad attitude. I think they're going to have a pretty good attitude, but I don't think it's anything to write home about. I'm going to give zebras a 3 based on my limited knowledge. I definitely don't think they're going to cause any problems. I think they're just going to be kind of like, I think they're going to be agreeable, if I were to guess. In terms of personality, honestly, kind of mid, as they say. Like, it's a zebra, right? Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I think saying that's enough. Like, it's a zebra, right? So I'm going to give personality a 3. Confidence, for some reason, I can't tell you why. I don't know. Mainly from what I've seen of zebras is they run, and obviously they are prey to some bigger creatures, and that's mainly what I see them. They are prey, and I can't help but see them that way. So I'm going to give their confidence a 2. They're running away. They don't want to be attacked and eaten alive. So I'm going to give them a 2 on confidence. That's where I'm putting zebras.
The running is their thing, but they're also they're also basically a striped horse, right? In a lot of ways.
A lot of ways, yeah.
So I'm trying to imagine that in terms of attitude and personality, if they have any horse-like features. You know how people communicate with their horses, and horses have personality, and
yeah.
I don't know, horses have a lot going on for them. I don't know if that's true for zebras as well or not.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the attitude. I don't know them to have a bad attitude like a camel or something. I don't know them to have a good attitude like a horse. I'm kind of mid with that one as well. I'm going to say a 3 on the attitude. Personality, I'm going to give it a 3 as well, because I feel like horses are probably better in every way. No one rides zebras, so there's got to be something going on there. And for confidence levels, I've definitely seen some zebras gang up on a lion or whatever before, like a botched attempt at a hunt or something. I've seen it on videos, so I'm not going to go quite as low on a 2 like you did. I'm going to give it 3s all around. Very mid.
Very mid. Okay. I respect that.
Which puts you at 8, puts me at 9. Combined total of 17 to the gorilla's 23. The gorilla wins the pageant. I feel like one of my skills probably should have been actually beauty, but I was basing this on a website.
That's funnier though. I like it.
It's funnier this way. Gorilla wins the pageant to the zebra. Next matchup though, between the hippo and the elephant.
All right. Hippo attitude. Let's see. What do I think about it? I don't know. I don't know much about hippos, but I do know that it's awesome when you watch them eat like giant ass watermelons. Like they just like can eat those things in like 2 bites. It's wild. Those things are big. So attitude, I don't know. Like, you know, I see them with zookeepers and they seem pretty chill. But once again, I don't. You know, I'm still going to go. I'm going to be mid here with the attitude. I'm going to give it a 3. I just don't have a lot to say about how it's going to do. I definitely don't think the hippo is going to be causing issues on the catwalk. I just think it's going to kind of go, hey, feed me. And, you know, whatever noise they make. Personality, something about them, they're kind of cute to me. I feel like they know that they're cute. And I feel like I'm going to give this a 4. I think I'm going to do 4 here. I don't have much else to say. Confidence kind of mid again. I'm going to give confidence a 3 with the hippo at the pageant.
Okay. Hippos, I've heard some things. Like, a lot of people apparently actually die every year to hippo attacks.
Oh.
Like, more than, like, sharks or whatever. Like, the people are afraid of. Like, hippos are actually, in the wild, very mean and very territorial.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so kind of like your chimpanzee thing a little bit. Actually, like when they're in a zoo and they're like relatively tamed with zookeepers or whatever. Like you said, they're eating giant watermelons. They're just living happy life. In the wild, I've heard it's a very different story.
Oh boy.
So I am going to give it a 2 on attitude, where it seems like they in the wild have a bad attitude, but they have the potential for better. So I'm going to give them a 2 on attitude myself. And in personality, I'm going to say kind of mid. Like they're kind of cute, but they don't bring a lot to the table. When they're a baby, they're kind of cute. When they're big, they're just kind of there. I'm going to give them a 3, a little bit mid. Confidence though, very powerful animal, very capable. Like I said, apparently kills people. I'm going to give confidence a 5.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm a little all over the place on the numbers. You're a little bit more consistent. All the same, that does bring both of our scores to 10s, which gives it a total score of 20.
Okay.
And now we got elephant.
Elephant. Well, we did just talk about elephants, and I do like them. I have a respect for them ever since watching Water for Elephants, 2011. Yeah. Attitude. From everything I've seen, like in the movies, elephants seem very nice. Now these are movies, but so
right.
But I'd like to think that carries over to a pageant. They're like, you know, like maybe not gentle giants. Maybe I wouldn't go that far, but I would say I think they're friendly, and I'm going to stick with that. So I'm going to go with 4 on attitude. I think they'd really have a good time on the stage. They'd probably break the stage, but it would be fun. Personality, I'm kind of playing it into the same thing. I think they're, from what I've seen, really friendly. Honestly, I think with personality, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give elephants a 5 here. I think they're going to really feed off the crowd and just have a good time. Confidence, funny enough, I don't want to give them such high confidence. This might be from the old, like, peanut gag. You know, they're afraid of peanuts or whatever.
Okay, yeah. And mice.
Or is that what it was?
They're afraid of mice. They like peanuts. They're afraid of mice.
I mixed up 2 random things. They're afraid of mice. So when you think about stuff like that, I'm going to give confidence. If they're afraid of something that small and they're that big, I mean, how confident are they really, right? So I'm going to give them a 2. So I can't remember what I said for attitude. I think I said 4, 5, and 2, I believe.
Mm-hmm. 4, 5, 2. I mean, admittedly, to be afraid of a mouse makes sense when you can imagine one can, like, run up your trunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If a mouse could shove its way up your nose, I'd be pretty freaked out, too. I don't know if elephants actually are afraid of mice or if that's just, like a weird made-up stereotype or not.
Right.
But I like the high numbers with attitude and personality. Because you see them in zoos and stuff. Like, I think elephants bring together. I'm going to give elephants a 5 in attitude. I think that for the most part, like, you've seen them help people out in the wild. People have helped elephants. Like, elephants are just this massive, like, gentle giant. I'm sure they could mess you up. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about elephants where there's like, I don't know, they just seem like they've got a good family attitude. They're very family oriented and personality. 5. Heck, you can teach them to paint. They paint.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's pretty cool. And confidence, I'm gonna do a little bit better because the mouse thing, but I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
Which gives 11 and 13 for a total score of 24, which means between the hippo and the elephant moves on.
You know, looking at them, I wouldn't think it'd be as close, but that was kind of close, actually.
That was kind of close.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
All right.
We're, next up, we've got the lion and the penguin.
This is going to be interesting. Lion and attitude. You know, It's funny because there's this stereotype with lions. Especially like in the movies and stuff, they're big and scary. But like I see lions do two things. I see two sides of lions. I see you're just kind of chilling out a lot, but then you're also like attacking when you need to. But then there's a lot more chilling out. So
there is a lot of chilling out.
So,
they're cats.
So it's like
they're giant cats.
They're basically giant cats. Attitude, I don't think lions have the best attitude.
When you think about like chimpanzees or whatever being like they could maul you, lions definitely could as well. There are videos out there of people like treating them more or less as pets, but
right. But I'm assuming the same can honestly, if in the right circumstances, the same could probably go for chimpanzees too, if I were to guess. I don't know.
Right.
But because I'm kind of iffy on it, I'm going to put attitude. You know, just for the sake that it really could eat me if it wanted to, I am going to give it a 2. I was thinking 3, but I'm going to go 2.
Fair.
Don't think it's going to do too well on stage there. Personality, I'm going to put personality at 3, mainly because it seems like kind of a boring life it lives. A lot of chilling out, and just kind of chilling. Is like, oh, okay, I need to provide for the family here. Let's go attack. And then, but like that's about it for me. So I'm going to give it a 3 on personality. Kind of put it in the middle. Nothing crazy going on there. And then confidence, though, I'm going to give confidence probably either a 4 or I'm going to say 4 for confidence. You know what? I lied. I'm going to do 5. I feel like if a lion's going to be matched up with somebody, I think even if it doesn't win, which it will win, I think it's going to. I got this, and I think it's going to own that on stage too. So I'm going to give personality a 5 for a lion.
Yeah, honestly, lion's got to be pretty confident. I'm kind of there with you. The attitude one is the one that gets me because I don't really know lions to be like mean. They hunt, they take down animals, but I don't know them to be like mean for no reason. Like you see them like at play with their own like packs or whatever, and they hunt out of like necessity. It's what they do. I don't know them to be like malicious. You know what I mean? I don't know that they could, I suppose. Right. I'm gonna say with attitude, I'm gonna say a middle pack 3. And for personality, I'm kind of with you on they're mostly just kind of chilling. They're mostly just kind of chilling. I'm going to give them a 3 there as well, weirdly enough. Like, they're cool to look at, but for the most part, they're sunbathing.
Right, yeah.
But confidence, same, 5. I mean, you ain't messing with a lion, right? Like, and it knows it, right?
Yep, yeah. Oh, it definitely knows it, yeah.
So that's a 10 from you and 11 from me for a total of 21. Now, penguin. And I believe I've got a picture of a great emperor penguin. I'm not sure, but a penguin.
I just love how they stand. It's kind of similar to the meerkats, but slouched.
Yeah. Just like, just kind of slouchy. Like, okay.
Penguin attitude. I mean, I don't know. It's a penguin.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm going to say, like, I don't know. I don't think its attitude is offensive by any means. I'm going to give a penguin a 3, just solid in the middle.
Okay.
Just kind of there. I don't think it's outstanding, like, attitude, but I don't think it's going to be, like, in a bad mood, you know. Personality, I don't know. The way they walk and just kind of head
Right?
around and stuff, just like bobbing their heads around. Man, personality, I'm going to give it a 5. They're I'm going to go for it. I like penguins. I don't know. I just think
I love
they're
it.
fun. I feel like they'd be fun to chill with. It's like, hey, you want to go see this? Come follow me. And then you just follow them and you just watch them like bob around. And then, what do we got last year? Confidence. I don't think they have a lack of confidence, but I think I'm going to go mid on this one and give them a 3. I think, yeah, I have nothing else to say. Just 3 on confidence. I think that makes the most sense for a penguin.
I think their strong suit is just... it goes back and forth for me about whether or not their personality is stronger or their attitude is stronger, because they're so similarly linked. But I'm going to say that in terms of attitude, that they seem relatively chill. They form these like massive family units. They've been known to adopt eggs that don't seem to have parents if something happens to the parents. I think they have a great attitude. I'm going to say 4, as far as I can tell. In terms of personality, God, they're just so freaking adorable, aren't they? Like just sliding around on their bellies on ice slides and stuff, right?
Yep.
I don't know, something about it. 5. And then in terms of confidence, it takes, weirdly, seeing as one of their biggest predators are frickin' sea lions or whatever, like they're pretty they gotta be pretty ballsy, honestly. I'm gonna give them a 4.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna give them a 4. So for you, that's going to be an 11, and for me, that's going to be a 13. Oddly enough, we both gave them higher scores to the lion. So with that, a total score of 24, the penguin moves on in our pageant.
Penguin. I mean, for a pageant, it makes sense.
For a pageant, it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. That one definitely checked out.
All right, we got 2 more matchups on this first run, and then we're going to do some crazy stuff. We've got the alligator versus the great horned rattlesnake. Alligator.
Alligator.
I love that sound. That was like what the sound the alligator would be making.
Yeah, exactly. Attitude. I don't know, but I mean, it's an alligator.
Yeah.
I don't think they're necessarily happy. They seem kind of cranky, and they're
a dinosaur.
Yeah. So attitude, I'm gonna throw it at a 1. I don't like alligators. I've never been near one, but I don't want to be near one. Attitude 1. Personality, though, this is kind of a weird thing because, actually, you know what? Honestly, never mind. I was about to say something that I don't think is true. There really isn't much personality there. Like, it's not like a penguin. You see them sliding around in their bellies, just hanging out. Like, an alligator is chilling out in the water, and then they'll come out of the water, and then they'll dart at you for a short period of time if you're close by. And that sounds scary to me, and that doesn't really sound like a guy I'd want to like have at a party or at a pageant. So personality, what's there to really talk about? I'm going to give it a 1 also. I don't like alligators. 3, confidence. The funny thing is that you can see plenty of videos of people like, if you know how to get away from one, you can definitely mess with an alligator. Their confidence is high, though, in general. So right. I'm going to give, this is a weird one, I'm going to give it a 1 and a 1 and then a 5 for confidence.
God, it makes so much sense, though, because you know that it is just, it knows what it can do, and it's like, don't mess with me. It stands there with its mouth open like, come at me.
Exactly.
I'm kind of with you on, so like attitude, I'm going to say, I don't know them to be, again, like malicious necessarily, like violent. They just kind of chill. I'm going to give them a 2. I'm going to do you a little bit better there. In terms of personality, it kind of goes back to, they just kind of like, it's like the lion. They just kind of sunbathe, right? They're kind of cool to look at, though. They're kind of imposing. I will give them a 3 in that, because that's the same thing I gave the lion. And then in terms of confidence, I'm going to give them a 5. Same thing. Like, they exude a certain level of confidence.
Right.
So that's a 7 from you, a 10 from me, for a total 17. Now, snakes. We've got a great horned rattlesnake here.
So we got a rattlesnake. That freaks me out too.
Rattling.
I feel like if I actually heard a rattlesnake in real life, I would be. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, they don't usually rattle until you're close. So when you hear the rattle, you're like, "Oh shoot, I gotta move.
I gotta get out of here." Attitude. I don't think they have a very good attitude.
Right.
I just don't. I don't have much to say. I think it speaks for itself, but I don't hate them as much as alligators still, so I'm gonna give it a 2 for attitude. And then
Okay.
personality. I feel like there is a little bit of personality there, though.
They're kind of musical.
Yeah, exactly. They're like they have maracas attached to them at all times. I think their personality. I'm still just gonna. Well, I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna say 3 for personality. I think it would be interesting to see how they would interact at a pageant. I'm just gonna say that. I'm taking a gamble with this 3, but I'm gonna say 3. Confidence. I don't know a lot about them, to be honest with you, but I feel like if you hear that rattle, they've made their decision, and I'm going to give confidence probably a 4.
Okay.
I think that's where I'm going to put them. I think that's really going to resonate. So, yep.
Rattlesnakes are an interesting one for confidence for me when we get to that. For attitude, I'm gonna say 1 because they're not messing around, right? Like they're like they want nothing to do with anybody. Screw off. They're like, get off my lawn. It's the guy with the shotgun on the porch, like, get off my lawn, right? Yep. That's what I see out of a rattlesnake. So that's gonna be a 1 there. For personality, I'm going to give it because it's definitely a personality for sure. It's a little less on the whole like lying around kind of doing nothing aspect of it. So I'm going to actually give it a 4. It's a very strong personality, even though it's not like a positive one. It is, I see grumpy old man, right? And then out of confidence, though, it's weird because if they're rattling their rattle, they're giving you the chance to go away. They want you on your own to like bugger off. So it's kind of like they're trying to intimidate you almost because maybe they're not as confident. They want you to be scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm going to give it a 3. Like, kind of middle-of-the-road confidence. So I'm a little all over the place on that one. That gives you a... What do we got here? You had a 9. I've got an 8, actually, which gives us a total of 17. We have a tie.
Oh, do you have a tiebreaker set up?
We have 17 and 17 between the alligator and the snake. My tiebreaker is... Alex, which one's your favorite?
I mean, out of the 2, I'd rather do the snake, I think.
Snake moves on.
I like that tiebreaker. Which one do you like better?
Which one's cooler? All right, and then finally, for the last of our beauty pageant here, we've got the rhino and the giant panda. Let's run down with the rhino.
Yeah. I forget that rhinos exist, to be honest with you. I just forget about rhinos.
I mean, you don't see them in your day-to-day life. You don't see any of these in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, what an observation. You're right. I don't know, because of that, I don't know a lot about them either. Like, attitude.
Man, they're walking tanks. This picture I've got that you can see, he is his presenting rump. I mean, that is what's happening right now. He's like, you like what you see?
Yeah, he talk about having a button liking it. To be honest with you, attitude, I feel like they're grumps. I feel like they're kind of, like you said, grumpy old man. I get the same vibe, but it's just a vibe. I don't know if it's real. But because of the vibe I'm getting, I'm going to roll with that. No one wants that at a beauty pageant. So I'm going to give attitude, I'm going to give it a 2, though, because I'm not 100% sure if they really are that grumpy. Personality, I mean, it's a rhino. You don't see movies with rhinos that often. Just saying, you see the zebras, and you see the monkeys, and you see the, all that stuff. But a rhino? No. I feel like a rhino would be the bad guy. Personality, I'm going to give it a 2 as well. I'm kind of slamming on this rhino here.
A little bit.
But that's just how I feel. Confidence, are they confident? I don't think they're not confident.
They're walking tanks. Like, that's what they're described as, is they're walking tanks.
Yeah. I'll throw a 4 at confidence, because I feel like if they need to get some work done, they're going to get it done, and they know it. But I don't think they have the same confidence as, like, an alligator or something. So I'll give it a 4, 2 and a 2 and a 4 from me.
I can get that. I can get behind that. I'm very similar. I think attitude, I don't know them to be friendly. I don't know them to be like malicious, but I don't know them to be friendly. So I'm going to give them a 2 there, just a little under par. And for personality, they just kind of run around and like tank stuff. Like I'm going to give them a 2 as well. I'm kind of with you. 2. And confidence, should I get 5? For confidence? For tank? I kind of want to give a 5 just because walking tank.
Okay. All right.
So that gives you a score of 8, me a 9. That gives them a 17. And then finally, panda.
Pandas. Pandas are very loved. People love their pandas. For attitude, pandas I think are going to do a great job. I think they have a good attitude. They're kind of like lions. They're chilling, but they're cuter when they do it. They chill all the time, but they're cute. And I can't help but think about that, like, 20-year-old internet video of the mama and the baby panda. And
the sneeze, yeah.
I can't remember which one sneezes, but it freaks out the other one.
The little baby panda sneezes, and the mom's just freaks out.
It blew her mind, yeah. But anyway, even that's cute. I think they carry pretty good attitudes. I'm going to put attitude. I'm going to go 5. I like pandas.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? I think a panda's going to have a great attitude on stage, and I think it's going to, if we're pretending that none of these animals will attack, I think it's going to work well with others as well. Personality, chilling out is all great and everything, but how much personality is there when really what pandas mainly do is chill, right? So I don't think it's a bad personality, but I'm going to give it a 4 there. Not a 5 because it's not very, like, performance forward. Just chilling and vibing, having a good time. So 4 there. Confidence, 3, I guess. I mean, I don't think they don't have confidence, but I also don't think that they like, I'm a panda and I own it. I think it's, you know what, I'm just going to nibble on this bamboo here.
Yeah, they're pretty tame. They're pretty mild-mannered. I think, in terms of attitude, I have heard that they can be a little mean to their young, which is sad because they don't ever have kids. Ever, which is why they're endangered. They just refuse to do it.
Right.
So in terms of attitude, I'm not going to go all the way to 5 because I've heard that they're not necessarily great to their young, which is why they have to be so taken care of. But besides that, I'm gonna bump down to 4 in terms of attitude and personality. I'm not gonna give them quite so high because they don't do much other than kind of hang out. For me, it's kind of the lion thing. They kind of chill and eat. They're cute. Yeah. They're cuddly. I'm gonna give them a 3 myself for that. And confidence. See, it's not that I don't like pandas here, but they're not very confident. They get pushed around a lot. Like, have you ever seen those videos of like the zookeepers in like the Chinese enclosures where they just like literally like rake them around to get them to move?
Yes, I have. Actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
they're kind of funny. They're not super confident creatures, but they're also not timid or scared. So I'm kind of with you. I'm going to say 3.
Yep.
So that gives you a score of 12, me a score of 10, which does give the panda a score of 22, which means in our pageant, they do move on.
I think that makes sense. I'd rather see a panda at a pageant than a rhino.
Now, this is where things get a little strange. I'm gonna cut a little bit of this for time, but for round 2, we're gonna be facing these animals off on pick a number between 2 and 3.
3.
All right, we've got 3 matchups, and this is gonna be based on their previous score, but now we're adding a new score. Which one do you think is better at committing crimes?
All right. Done. Easy. All right. We ready for this?
First matchup is the giraffe and the penguin.
No, it is hard to dissociate the whole penguins of Madagascar thing because it's the penguin from Madagascar.
It's pretty difficult.
But, like, I feel like what animal is better at that? They're cute. They're unassuming. They can cause some crimes. And I feel like that'd be the kind of situation where it's like you would never expect it. You're not going to get around very far as a giraffe. You know, if you're trying to, like, rob a bank, you're going to see that neck from 3 blocks down. So I am going to say penguin. Of course, And I'm going to say, and we're still doing numbers, right? Like from 1 to 5 or
We're
whatever.
still doing numbers 1 through 5. Its abilities to commit crimes.
So I think it's going to do pretty well with crime. I'm trying to not relate it to that movie, but I still think it would be better than a giraffe. Do I need to give the giraffe a number 2?
Yeah, I want numbers.
Okay. So giraffe, I'm going to give. I just don't think a giraffe is going to do that well. It can run like a penguin can. So if you're caught in the crime, that's a different story. But I'm thinking committing it. I'm not going to say getting away with it. I'm just going to say committing it. I feel like a penguin's going to do better. I'm going to give penguin a 4 and a giraffe a 2.
I like that. I'm trying to think of the giraffe.
A penguin can hide.
The giraffe would be like more of the muscle than the penguin. But I'm just trying to think. The giraffe is so when you're committing crimes, right? You want to be sneaky. You want to be under the radar. You want to be like breaking in, burglar, whatever. You got this big long neck. He's just kind of a goofy goober.
Yep.
I just don't think giraffe has got it in him for crime committing.
Nope.
I don't think he's awful at it. He's got a bit of an intimidation factor, but not that much. He's not like a lion would have been or whatever. I'm going to say 2 as well. And so for penguins, for being like sneaky, sleazy, the darn penguin we're looking at looks like a mob boss, right? I'm going to...
Yep.
I want to give him a 4 as well.
Cute and cuddly, boys. Cute and cuddly.
Cute and cuddly. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Yeah,
now,
Madagascar. That's a great movie.
The giraffe originally had 19 points in the pageant. He's going to get an additional 4 points for committing crimes, giving him a score of 23. The penguin had a score of 22 in the pageant, and we just gave him an extra 8 points for the crimes, giving him a score of 30, meaning our penguin moves on in our bracket.
Like it.
The penguin.
Nice. Oh, this is good. I'm glad
the second matchup. You're what?
I said I'm glad the penguin's making it. I like this.
Penguin's got to go far, baby. Now, we've got the gorilla versus the great horned rattlesnake.
It's funny because I think they both would be good in their own ways. Like if they worked together, like the gorilla's the muscle, kind of like you said with the giraffe, but except the gorilla really is the muscle here, and then the snake is like, I think the snake is sneaking in and getting the job done. Like if you got to just go like grab something small, the snake's going to be able to get right through there. But overall, I'm going to say for committing a crime, the thing about the gorilla is that I feel like even if he's caught, like say like someone's chasing him, he's going to knock some heads. The snake, I think, especially if he's being gathered up on, isn't going to be able to do the same. So, but I think they're both up there though in their own genre of crime committing. But I'm going to put gorilla ahead. I'm going to put gorilla at. Because and they can get kind of fast too. I'm going to give gorilla a 5. I feel like when push comes to shove, if they need to get out of the situation, they can fight their way out or they can run their way out. I'm going to give them a 5. I'm going to give snake a 4. So they're both pretty close, but I think gorilla edges it out.
I wrote this in the wrong spot. I have one quick correction to make. Earlier I said penguin had a 22 in the pageant. It was a 24. So the penguin's up to 32 points.
Okay.
Anyway.
It's still winning.
Correction.
Okay, that's good. Whew.
It still wins. It's still there. Small correction. For the crimes between gorilla and snake here, God, it's just opposite ends, right? The gorilla is the muscle. He is the intimidator. He's going to go showing up like, where's my money or whatever. Like
right.
He's the really good at crimes, but the snake is also, like I said, like that stealthy get in and get out. He's the cat burglar. I'm giving them both 5s.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just like they're both in their respective fields.
You're right.
Combined, if they were working together, God, fantastic.
They'd be unstoppable. We need to make it like a 3D animated show, gorilla and snake crime adventures or something.
Gorilla and snake crime adventures. It does put that does give 10 points to gorilla and 9 points to snake. Gorilla had 23 points from the pageant and the snake had 17, which means gorilla is moving forward with 33 points.
Woo! All right.
And that brings us to the elephant versus the panda in committing crimes.
Oh, all right. Let's start with panda here. I think I don't think a panda would do a very good job. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I just don't think that's gonna happen. I feel like they would either I feel like they'd be kind of like, but I don't want to do it. You know, I feel like that'd be the attitude. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. At all.
Yeah, like, no matter what part it was, I was thinking, what part would they do? Would they be maybe, like, on the walkie-talkie, like, at the computers in the van, you know? But, like, I don't even think they'd want to do that. They'd fall asleep. So, I'm going to give Panda... I'm going to give him a little benefit. There's a little benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give him a 2. But I just don't think they're really going to be interested in it. Elephant is similar, but I feel like an elephant has a fun enough personality that they're kind of up for some fun. And once again, if they need to, you know, they would be the muscle in this situation, obviously. They could just stomp the crap out of you. Smack you around with their trunk a little bit. But still, I don't think it's going to be in their nature to really want to do this whole crime thing. Plus, they might be a little too big for their own good. Like, they can't get in there. Like, they can't get into that bank. They literally just can't get in there. So
that was kind of our issue with the giraffe a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I feel like they'd be up for an adventure. I don't know. I'm gonna say 3. I think if they were like in the right situation, they could do a decent job. So 3 for elephant, 2 for panda.
I'm kind of in a similar vein. I hate to do it. I want to give Panda a 1 on this because, like, Panda ain't doing no crimes. He doesn't do anything. He just kind of like, I don't want to. That seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, he's just not a crime committer. I don't know. He's got the black and white thing going. Like, maybe he's already in prison, like with the old jumpsuits or whatever. But and then the elephant. He's got the intimidation and the muscle factor like the gorilla, but he is really big. I do want to give him a little bit more than I gave giraffe. I'm going to give him a 3. I want to give him a 3 as well.
Okay.
So that's 6 points to elephant, giving him 30 total points, and that's 3 points to panda, giving him a total of 25 points. Therefore, the elephant moves on.
Wow. Look at that.
And then finally, our 3-way between the penguin and the gorilla and the elephant, right?
Okay.
The final set of skills to choose from are their battle skills.
Battle skills, okay.
Yes. Their strength, speed, intelligence, their battle skills.
Okay, so you're going like all aspects of battle. Okay.
For time, we're going to just give it one number, 1 through 5 battle skills. But those are the things you're kind of thinking about.
Okay. So you're talking like all parts of it, like tactics, all that.
Yeah, they're going to war or something. They're battle.
All right. So I think they all have like weaknesses and strengths, which is interesting. I don't know, like penguin. Like for example, if you're going to battle, penguin is not going to be frontline, right? If you like, they should not be frontline. I feel like they could be good behind the scenes, maybe. I think they could be good, like, maybe good at strategizing.
Like tacticians.
But I could be just putting it in Madagascar.
Penguins in Madagascar.
Yeah, so that, you know, that's a huge influence. But I think for that reason, because I know that's going to be, because at the same time, they're not attackers, and I don't think they're really interested in attacking. Like, from at any degree, I'm going to give penguins a realistic 2 here. Gorillas, once again, I don't think they're going to be the best at tactics and strategizing, but I think they can get the job done, you know?
Right.
So I think in that respective field, they would do great. So if we're going that route, I don't know, because like, would they get too excited for their own good? I don't really know enough about their personalities, really. But I think I'm going to give it a 4. I think if they're like frontline, they're like actually doing the battles, like they're running in there, they're charging in, they're going to cause some damage. So I'm going to give 4 there. Elephant. I don't know, like, are elephants, forgive me, I'm not sure, are elephants like considered like fairly smart?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought they were. See, I feel like elephants would be great, like, they're kind of almost maybe like a jack of all trades. They could help behind the scenes, and if they need to run out there in the field and get some work done, they can do that too.
Right.
So, like, I feel like they could, So I'm actually going to, believe it or not, I'm going to give elephant a 5. Because I think they can help strategize. They can line everybody up the way they need. And then when it's time to go to war, they said, okay, listen, you guys got this. I'm going to run out here and help. So they can do both. A good jack of all trades. I'm just going to throw a 5 out there, at least compared to these other two. So there's my numbers. I think I said a 2, a 4, and a 5.
Yeah, 2, 4, and a 5. I think realistically, those are really good numbers. I think for the Penguin, like, yeah, if they have to go to battle, I mean, their best defense is just like fleeing, and their offense, they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot going on. Penguin for battle, I hate to say it, like, there's 2. Yeah, I can give them a 2. I can give them a 2. I don't know if 1 would be too mean. Gorilla. God, they're powerful. They're big beasts. I'm almost kind of like, what would a gorilla like? It's going to be high for battle, but it kind of comes down to: are there things that a gorilla couldn't take down? Like even on this list, would a gorilla go toe to toe with an elephant, a rhino, a hippo? You know what I mean? So like, can it really realistically get to 5? Now, pack tactics or whatever, you can get the whole group of them. They kind of like, it's there. It's definitely there. I kind of want to say 5 though, if they can work together. If you've got the pack tactics together, I kind of want to give them a 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that checks out.
And then for elephant, the problem I have with elephant, they're big, they're durable, they don't have the dexterity that gorillas do. They don't have the maneuverability that gorillas do. They do have like their herds. Yeah. So they do have that going for them, but I think they just lose it in maneuverability and their ability to like necessarily chase down, pursue. I don't know. I think
they're
that
hard
it
to take
drops
down
a little
though.
bit there. What'd you say?
They are hard. I said they are hard to take down though.
That is true. They are massive. I still think I want decisions. I think I'm still going to go with a 4 on elephant.
Okay.
And that means, with an extra 4 points going to penguin, an extra 9 points going to gorilla, and an extra 9 points going to elephant. In third place goes to our penguin.
Okay.
And second place goes to the elephant with 39.
Wow.
And in first place, the gorilla at 42.
Barely made it there. Dang. I was kind of hoping for elephant.
Even if I gave the elephant the 5, it will give him an extra point. It would have boosted him to 40, but not quite enough to still take on our winner today. Is the gorilla of the 12 that we've picked is best animal.
You guys don't see this, but Weston just took like a paintbrush tool and paint and just like circled it.
Yeah, I circled
just
it.
to let
That's
me
our
know.
Winner. Ding ding.
In case you weren't paying attention, Alex, here is the winner. Gorilla.
This is the winner, Alex. That's our winner of our 12 zoo animals. Maybe we'll have to pit the gorilla against some other animals in the future or something.
That'd be fun,
do you agree? Let us know in the comments of the YouTube video or in the Spotify Q&A down there, or wherever you can reach us, maybe on Twitter at Profoundish Pod.
Yeah.
Instagram at Profoundish Pod. Let us know. What is best animal? What is best zoo animal between pageant skills, battle skills, and crime skills?
Speaking of letting us know, which yes, please do. Let us know what you think. But also, I just want to thank everybody. We've gotten a handful of ratings in on Spotify. That's awesome. So keep shooting us. If you're a new listener, give us a rating. It helps and it goes a long way. We see you. We appreciate you.
I don't see you. I don't have cameras in your home.
Well, I do, and I see you. By the way, you need to clean your house.
By the way, you need to vacuum. Alex, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at alexduquette.net. It's the best place to go. It's my landing page for everything I do. And I do music, original music, but I also do nostalgic medley music. So if you want to take a nostalgic trip and hear some of your favorite theme songs from today and yesteryear, listen to those. You can find them there or at YouTube. You can type in my name as well, Alex Duquette. Weston?
You can find me at westonhasty.com for the landing page where I do all my things. I'm on YouTube playing games most of the time. Magic Man Mo. Come say hi to me on Twitter at Weston Hasty. I'm becoming a Twitter celebrity again. I'm doing the Twitter thing. I'm going in on it.
He's going. Let's do it.
Why. I'm going in.
Own it.
Other than that, thank you all so much for listening. Hit that like and or heart 5 stars. Go pet an animal. Goodbye.
Yep. Bye. Tell all your animals about Profoundish. We need more animal listeners. We're really lacking in that demographic.
Go feed the squirrels some caffeine.
Do it. That's our advice.
Yes. Don't get mauled by a gorilla.